TinTown studio in Cranston. Paul, how you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm so good. I've been very excited to chat with you today all about your business venture. So Paul is a RISD grad, and he also is a professional teacher, and he's been teaching visual art and design in both schools and museums across New England, including at the RISD Museum. So you continued your teaching venture and your passion for design and visual arts by opening up TinTown Studio. Talk to us a little bit about what TinTown Studio is, because it's such a cool space.
Oh, great. Thank you. Yeah, TinTown Studio. About 3-4 years ago, my partner and I, Dennis Del Signore, we together needed a space to create a maker space for both of us. And so basically the fine arts and for me in design, and Dennis with the floral and decor design. We looked and suddenly a small little niche of a place came up in Cranston, in the Knightsville section of Cranston. And basically we actually found it, we nabbed the space, and after much laborious efforts, about 7 months went into getting the place ready. It used to be a former hair salon from the 1970s, and we turned it into a great little makerspace in July of 2016.
So cool.
It's just a wonderful space of energy and other things.
It's so cool. So talk to me a little bit about why you decided to stick around in the Knightsville area of Cranston. Does that area have meaning to you, and why was it important for you to open up kind of an artistic space in Cranston?
Loaded question, I must say, but you know what? One of our goals in living as lifelong residents of Rhode Island, we feel, both Dennis and I feel, that we want to get the arts spread around the state. Providence, I'm looking out at Providence. This is my favorite city of all. I love you, Cranston, but Providence is where it's at. But why not branch out? We are such a small state. Let's take advantage of our small geographical size. And Cranston is another place where the arts are alive. It's not just the Providences and the Pawtuckets and the Wickfords and the Westerlies now, but it's also these small cities like Cranston and other areas beyond. And the Knightsville section lends itself well because culturally, I am tied to it ancestrally. My maternal and paternal sides are hail from Knightsville, but at the same time, there's a lot going on there, whether it's food and eating, or other small design places, small shops and boutiques, and things that include watch repair shops and other fine little eateries. And we found this space, and it would be perfect timing for someone to go for dinner, enjoy a cocktail, and visit some art and see art in this little section. And it's an affordable little space, affordable both monetarily, but also with your time. It's local, and you can actually achieve it, and you can access it whenever you want.
So I love the idea of what you said, being able to you go to dinner, you go grab a cocktail, and then go and be able to experience art. But it's not just visually experiencing art, because it is a gallery, but it's also a makerspace. So you can go enjoy the art, but you can also create there as well. Talk to us about the combination of being able to offer classes and a design space, but also having it be a gallery.
The pride we take in it, Dennis and I are always joking with each other, but we love the fact that a large part of our vision is about emerging. It's always evolving. Since July of 2016, when we opened with a gallery show, we found ourselves from a personal makerspace. People wanted to do something to express themselves. We're living in times where people are really thinking about a lot. We're pressured. We all know that. There's no need to say that right now. And people really want to search deep within. I teach a young age, a very young age, and I love teaching that age, the age 4 and 5, all the way up to age 12. They're the deeply rooted creative ones. They're the ones that aren't inhibited. That's my job, because it was the adults that were coming to us saying, we want to do something. We just don't want to paint at a proverbial paint night and follow each stroke. We want to feel that paint. We want to feel what charcoal is like, because I've always wanted to go to art school, they say, and they never could. And they want to experience it. And that's what we're trying to do at TinTown Studio throughout each year. Whether it's a basic drawing class or a painting class, expressing with watercolor, it doesn't matter. Dennis is challenging people in his own world of challenging them in the floral and art decor design, asking them to create these wonderful pieces using fresh and found items, whether it's found in Rhode Island or found at the local distributor. People are learning to build and create according to what they're feeling inside.
I think it's so cool to be able to offer that within the
Yeah.
community and within our state, and being able to offer that on such a local level as well. Can you talk to me about how the name originated?
That's a good one. TinTown. Being a local Cranstonian, basically that space became available. I kind of rejoiced in it because I recall going there when it was a hair salon.
That's cool.
And it was fun. And there was a lot of the hairspray and
Yeah.
lacquer and nicotine left on the wall. And basically, when I found the space, I said, let's go in here. Something's telling me there's right above my head, about 4 feet, is a drop ceiling. There's something there. Grabbed the ladder, poked my head through, and voila, there was the most amazing vintage tin ceiling from about the early 20s.
Oh, that's so cool.
And I knew there was history there. And over time, they've divided the space up. But in all, the tin space remained. But then I started to think, what do we name this place? What is going to be great? And Dennis and I, we were inspired by walks in Providence and in Cranston and all over the state, walks along the beach. And we said, over, 50, 60, 70 names came out. I have my sketch pad still has those names in it. And we realized that, tin is a great metal. If you're working with tin, it's soft, it's malleable. And we thought, what a great idea to be able to work with people who may have never even ventured into the fine arts or the floral design world, and teaching them the basics, letting them expand on what's inside already, because we all have the creative gene. So we said, tin, it's soft, it's a good metal, you can do so many things with it. We can work with people and make it happen and make them express themselves.
This story just makes me really happy.
You're going to be there one day, too.
I know, I need to come. I need to come experience. Talk to me about, you've had several exhibits so far. One's opening up tomorrow, which we'll get to that.
Sure.
Let's talk about who can come showcase, which artists you like to feature. You kind of have had a mix, it seems like, over the course of opening, of both local, but also from beyond. Talk to us about who can showcase their art there.
Absolutely. Molly, one of our biggest things is to drive to get most people to think about expressing themselves and showing their art. The underrepresented, the under-exhibited artists. It's so hard to get across the idea. When you visit our website, it says that one of our things is not only that we are an evolving space, but that we take the word seriously of a mid-20th century printmaker and painter and photographer, Roy Adzak. He once said that good art is not what it looks like, it's what it does to us. And we build on that each time. And we want people to make art, whether you're a professional, whether you're somebody who's just started to experiment with oil paints or watercolor. We want to look at your work and we want to talk about possibilities of you potentially showing your work. For instance, immediately following our opening gallery show, about 2 months later, Dennis and I realized we know two great artisans, makers, and one works in stained glass and one works with photography and printing on substrates that aren't your typical photography. We got the two together, and it was an amazing show where the textures came together, the colors, and Dennis and I were on a high getting our own curation together and putting these two gals together in a show that brought many people the most wonderful responses, and then our mind started to think the next show became a 12 by 12. It kept moving, and the 12 by 12 show was about anything made 12 inches by 12 inches, no under, no over that dimension. And we curated a show, over 116 works hung on the wall, from an amateur to the most professional photographer and painters from around the States, we're proud to say. It was wonderful.
So wonderful. It's so cool. It's so exciting and so neat. It must be such a proud feeling for you to be able to have studied art, to be able to teach art, to be able to, really this is how you live, now to be able to inspire and help see people along the way, right? I mean, you're helping them experience art for what it is.
Absolutely. I must say, I've been involved with Gallery Night in Providence and for about 15 plus years now, and I'm still involved in an indirect way, and I'm very excited. Gallery Night Providence is one thing that's an amazing feature in all of New England, and they can tout themselves as being very successful across the nation. Gallery Night in Providence, I was fortunate enough to work with the RISD Museum as a part-time member of the education staff, and each gallery night I was able to work with the most amazing adults who would be dropped off, come into the museum and not knowing what to expect. I would be ready with my cart and various materials that were allowed in the museum, and we made art each of those times. And it was wonderful because people experienced it and they realized, wow, I can do this. I can actually see this. And my biggest part of my biggest philosophy in art making, art appreciation is dialogue. Talk with the art. Talk to the piece you're making. Look at the piece that's on the wall. Discuss art with people. Talk about it. What do you feel? What do you see? Why do you talk about it this way? What makes you interested in that piece? And that's what we want people to see.
I love that. Okay, so before we let you go,
Sure.
I do want to talk. You briefly mentioned 12 by 12.
Yes.
Up and running again come May, right?
Absolutely.
You're doing
May
it
18th
again.
is our newest one. We are now accepting, it's official on GoLocal Prov. We are accepting 12 by 12 submissions. Molly O'Brien will be doing one. So will the other members of the staff.
Heck
here.
yeah, I'll do one.
Exactly. And we are accepting them now through mid-April. If you go on our website, tintownstudio.com, you will basically find out the details of the criteria that's needed. There really isn't any criteria. Just believe in yourself, because Henri Matisse, the great French painter, once said, creativity takes courage. You're brave enough.
It
You
really
can do
does.
it. You can do
Okay,
it.
so it has to be on a 12 by 12, any
Anything.
medium.
12 by 12. whether
Inches,
it's
right? Not
12 by
feet.
12. No, 12 by 12
Okay.
inches, please. Canvas, paper, quilting, photography, you name it. As long as it's 12 by 12 and we can hang it on the wall, or if it's a sculptural piece, we're ready for you.
So cool. So
Excellent.
cool.
This is
Okay,
gonna be
so
great.
calling all artists. You heard it here. We'll put a link on our website as well. And
Absolutely.
then tomorrow, opening night, I have it
Yeah.
here. You also have it in your hand. Opening night for Gio Scotti, is that how you say it?
Exactly, you
Okay, Gio
said it.
Scotti, Friday, March 9th. What can people expect?
Gio Scotti, great Rhode Island-born artist, now living in the New York area. Basically, is returning to Rhode Island for his first solo show in Knightsville
Cool.
section of Cranston. Gio Scotti, In the Soup. It's a great retrospective about a decade of this young artist's work. He is a young, progressively growing, extremely talented character. Dennis and I are both so excited to showcase his art tomorrow with a wonderful opening. Don't miss it. Be there 6:30 to 8:30 p.m. and it runs every weekend through the end of March. We are so excited to have Gio Scotti on board as one of our first exhibitions of 2018. I must plug that we had a wonderful exhibition on Carpentier Imagination. It was a wonderful collaboration of Caribbean artists about 3 weeks ago.
Excellent.
It was great.
Well, congratulations to you.
Thank
Thanks
you.
so much for coming in for GoLocal.
Thank
We'll have
you.
more information on TinTown Studio as well as how you can submit. We'll put a link to there as well. Paul, thank you so much for joining us today.
You're
I really do
welcome.
appreciate
Thank you,
it.
Molly.
Awesome chatting
Great
with you.
meeting you.
Such a
Take
pleasure.
care.
We're going to get set up for one last final guest here on GoLocal Live, so hang tight with us.